Welcome, everyone, to this deep dive. We've got some great source material here, focusing pretty heavily on Tamiya models.
Yeah, and we're digging into something really fundamental today. Suspension tuning.
Right.
Specifically wheel camber on RC buggies.
Exactly. It's one of those things, right, you might overlook it at first, but get it wrong and, well, your handling can get unpredictable.
Oh, absolutely. And your tires won't thank you either. So our mission really is to unpack what camber is, why it's so crucial for grip, steering, stability.
And, maybe most importantly for you listening, how you can spot and actually fix common camber issues, drawing on what these sources say.
Think of it as a quick way to get informed and get your buggy handling better.
Okay, let's jump right in. First things first. What exactly is camber when we talk about RC cars?
Simple enough, really. If you look at your buggy from the front or the back, it's just the angle of the wheel relative to straight up and down, vertical.
Right, measured when it's just sitting there at right height.
Exactly. And you've basically got three types. Top of the wheel leaning in towards the chassis. That's negative camber.
Okay.
Top leaning out, away from the chassis. That's positive. And perfectly straight up and down is zero camber.
Pretty easy to picture. So why does this tilt matter so much? Doesn't a perfectly vertical wheel, zero camber, give you the most tire contact?
Well, yes, in a straight line, when the car's perfectly level, zero camber often gives the best contact patch for acceleration or braking.
But buggies don't just go straight.
Exactly. They corner hard. And when you turn, the whole chassis rolls, the suspension compresses, especially on those outside wheels.
Oh, okay.
So camber becomes critical then. It helps keep the tire's contact patch as flat and effective as possible during that rolling compression. It's all about maintaining grip when things get dynamic.
Got it. So the sources really seem to focus on negative camber, like maybe 1 to -3 degrees. What's that actually doing for you on the track?
That's kind of the sweet spot for cornering. When that outside wheel loads up in a turn and the chassis rolls, that negative angle helps counteract the roll.
How so?
It effectively tilts the tire back towards vertical relative to the track surface, keeping more of the tread planted. More tread contact equals more cornering grip.
And better steering response, too, sometimes.
Yeah, particularly up front, a bit of negative camber can make the steering feel sharper, more aggressive. But there's a trade-off.
Always is.
Too much negative camber, especially in the rear, can sometimes hurt your straight line acceleration. Less contact patch when the car is level.
Okay. And positive camber. Sounds like something to avoid.
Pretty much, yeah. The sources are clear on that. Positive camber means the top leans out, so when the chassis rolls into a corner...
The tire leans even more, lifting the edge off the track.
Exactly. It kills your contact patch right when you need the grip. So, yeah, generally not used for performance setups.
Now, something else mentioned is camber gain. What's that about? Is that different from the static setting?
Yeah, it's dynamic. Camber gain is how much the camber angle changes as the suspension compresses or extends. It's built into the suspension geometry.
So as a wheel moves up?
It often gains more negative camber. It's designed that way in many buggies. So as the suspension compresses mid-corner, the wheel naturally tilts in more, helping to keep that tire flat relative to the ground, even with body roll.
Clever. And that's down to things like where the upper links mount.
Exactly. The length and angle of those upper suspension links are key factors determining camber gain.
Okay, this is making sense. But what causes camber to be wrong on our buggies? What are the common problems?
The sources point to a few usual suspects. Simple assembly errors are definitely up there. Putting a part in the wrong hole, maybe installing something backwards. Easy to do.
Happens to the best of us.
Then there's just wear and tear. Worn bushings, sloppy bearings, even plastic parts that deform slightly over time. It all introduces play that affects the angle.
And crash damage, obviously.
Yeah.
Bent arms, bent links.
Yep. Impacts are a big one.
Right.
But here's a really crucial point, especially for like older Tamiya kits or entry-level ones.
What's that?
Many come with fixed-length upper links, non-adjustable.
Right.
So if you change anything that affects ride height, different shocks, maybe softer springs, even just trying different diameter tires, that directly changes your static camber because the link length isn't changing.
Wow, okay, so just swapping tires could throw your camber off without you even realizing it. That's... Yeah, sneaky.
It really is. Something to watch out for.
So how do you check it properly? Just eyeball it?
Eyeballing can give you a clue. You know, if one side looks obviously different, or if your tires are wearing really unevenly on the inside or outside edge.
But for accuracy?
You need a tool, a proper camber gauge. Digital ones are great, but simple manual ones from brands like Tamiya or RPM work perfectly well too.
And the key is consistency when measuring.
Absolutely. Measure on a perfectly flat, level surface. Make sure the buggy is at its normal ride height, battery in, ready to run. And always check both the left and right sides. You want them to be symmetrical usually.
Okay, so let's say you measure it and it's off. How do you fix it?
Yeah.
Especially on those Tamiyas with the fixed links.
Yeah. Well, on modern buggies or ones you've upgraded, the main way is adjustable turnbuckles for those upper links.
Right, you just twist the middle section.
Exactly. Turning it one way shortens the link, pulling the top of the wheel in for more negative camber, turning it the other way lengthens it, reducing negative or even going positive.
Simple enough. But for the fixed link guys,
For a lot of those classic or entry-level Tamiyas, the sources basically say upgrading to adjustable turnbuckles is the way to go. It's often a necessary hop-up if you want proper tuning.
they mentioned specific sets, right? Like for the DT03 or TT02B.
Yeah, Tamiya makes hop-up sets like hashtag 54572 or hashtag 54874 that replace the fixed links. Or sometimes they offer specific fixed arms with built-in negative camber, like the hashtag 54667 for the GF01WR02 chassis, which can be a simple handling upgrade.
And if it's not the links,
Then you're back to basics, double-checking your assembly against the manual, or replacing any parts that are clearly worn or bent from a crash.
and this applies across the Tamiya range, really, from, say, an old Grasshopper to a new PD4.
The principles apply, yeah, but the method varies hugely. Those really vintage kits like the Grasshopper or Hornet had almost zero adjustment stock. You needed serious mods.
Where's the newer stuff?
Modern chassis like a DF03 or definitely the TD4 often come with turnbuckles or adjustable hop-ups are readily available and expected. Re-releases often mimic the original though, so you might still need upgrades.
Gotcha. Any quick best practices when you're actually twisting those turnbuckles?
Go slow. Make small changes, maybe half a turn or 1 degree at a time, then put the car down, roll it a bit, remeasure, test it if you can.
And keep it symmetrical.
Yeah, almost always aim for the same camber angle left to right. And remember, camber doesn't exist in isolation. It works with your toe settings, caster. Changing one can affect how the others feel.
Good point. Keep everything working together.
And keep your suspension clean and free of slop. Worn parts won't hold settings accurately.
So, wrapping this up, really understanding camber, what it is, how to check it, how to adjust it, especially with these Tamiya-specific points about fixed links and hop-ups, it really empowers you.
Totally. It lets you fine-tune how your buggy handles, make it more predictable, maybe find a bit more speed, and just more fun to drive. Doesn't matter if it's vintage or brand new.
Okay, so here's something to think about, a final thought for you. We know static camber is set at rest, and camber gain changes it dynamically as the suspension moves. But what happens during that intense chassis roll in a hard corner? How does getting that dynamic camber just right, keeping the tire optimally planted then, translate directly into shaving tenths off your lap time? How much corner speed are you leaving on the table?